A cyber Chinese New Year. When tradition meets technology, what does the celebration look like? You may have been impressed by the humanoid robots performing at this year and last year's Spring Festival galas. Beyond robotics, AI, VR, and other cutting-edge technologies are refreshing the way people experience one of the most important days on the Chinese calendar. So welcome to part 2 of our 2-part special series of The Point. I'm Li Xin. Today, my guests and I will get a first-hand experience of a VR game themed around the Great Wall, and then sit down to explore why a cyber Chinese New Year is quietly gaining popularity across China. Joining me today are David Bartosch, Distinguished Research Fellow at Beijing Normal University at Zhuhai, Professor Li Lun, Assistant Professor of Economics at Peking University, and Alex Shi, stand-up comedian and podcast producer. First, we're going to experience the VR game that I talked about, themed around the history of the Great Wall, a symbol deeply tied to Chinese history and culture. Once again, before we go into the gaming room, I'd like to thank All Space for providing the experience and the venue. Let's go. Wow. 这是我的手。
I can see you.
You can see me?
Yeah, yeah. Can you see me?
Yes, I think so.
Hello.
Hey there.
You look very...
Our story begins.
The Great Wall's deepest
There's the stone.
Oh, I see.
You see? Going to touch. Whoa.
Okay. Wow.
Do you see it?
Yeah?
Please.
Yes. Let's do it. You
Okay,
first.
thank you. Whoa.
Work on the Great Wall fortress
Wow.
commenced some time ago.
It looks pretty realistic.
Are we supposed to walk?
What? That looks a little scary.
We're on the wall.
Oh, we're protected.
We're
You know,
protected.
the Xiongnu want to
Kill people.
kill us.
Whoa. Oh, I have a sword. I have a
Oh.
sword in my hand.
Let me pick up the.
All right.
Oh,
I just
wow.
changed weapon.
Oh, God.
Behind you, behind you. Oops. Yeah. Here you go. Wow, that was really amazing. That was amazing. How did you like it?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, terrific.
Terrific. I want to continue. I want to stay there. I want to continue. Wow, that was my very first time.
Yeah, yeah. Me, actually, I tried like decades ago, but of course the technology was very different at
Very
the time. So
different.
it's very realistic.
This was very realistic. Amazing.
It's better than the illustrations in history textbooks where you can actually
Yeah.
see things in color,
This is.
in motion.
Yeah. I mean, I could play this like forever.
So that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
The VR game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, we teamed up in this great
I
adventure.
did most of the work, okay?
Yes.
I did most of the
Like good old Chinese women.
By the way, thank you for protecting me with the sword, right?
We were the
she
protecting kind,
Yeah, she
yeah.
saved my life from the Xiongnu, right?
Yeah, he was having trouble with the crossbow.
crossbow, yeah.
The
I was
crossbow
like,
didn't
before
work.
you figure it out, we'll be dead. So let me do it.
And it's not the problem of the device or the weapon because she used the crossbow.
Yeah,
and before I
sorry,
realized
sorry,
she
it's
already
you.
killed like 5
Oh.
people.
It's
Your
you.
crossbow
Yeah, I knew how to work it. Maybe I was in my past life. I was a Chinese soldier.
It's not the weapon, it's the person.
It's the person using the weapon. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it was the crossbow was working fine with me. I was like, "Ooh, this feels great."
Yeah, but the whole thing was surreal, right?
Yeah.
I remember many years ago, I did try one of these AR
Yeah.
things, but the experience wasn't so great.
Very different.
Yeah, but this time
Yeah.
it was very smooth. How did you find it?
Yeah, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, because I was kind of following the whole VR thing ever since the beginning of it when Facebook first made the Quest, and I was playing a lot of games on it. That's why it came a little bit more natural to me. And then what's impressive about what we just tried is not just the gadgets, not just the headset. It's the products and overall experience. The user experience got so much better. I felt like it was the right amount of seeing what's around you and a right amount of action. So it's a product, I think it's educative and it's entertaining at the same time. And it's my first time trying a VR product, VR game where I could see where my friend is, like where my partner is. Yeah, I got a teammate. We could do things together, and we only bumped into each other once. And it was quite well designed. And for me, because I'm not really scared of it, I know there are some parts of it. I'm sure you.
It's a really good point, by the way, because if you have a teammate in the VR setting, it's closer to reality, right? You share the same virtual reality, so it's a more real.
Yeah, but he got scared when we were going to go down the we were going to go on the flying pea stone, and then he was like, "Oh no!"
Look, here's what happens. There's a gap between a platform you're supposed to be step on,
we had
and
the
then
same
where you are.
Right.
You can't see your feet, right? So I'm trying to make that.
He was behind me. He was like, "Oh, there's a gap."
But I stumbled,
I know.
and then I bumped into Alex. So yeah.
I was scared too. I didn't know what to do.
You didn't look scared.
Well, I'm a presenter, you know. So what I did was I stayed still, and the thing just moved.
Yeah.
You know, it just carried. Anyway, what I want to say is, you know, to have this space and this as a business, that people actually come and experience this.
Yes.
But really the question is, first of all, how developed is China in terms of these AR, VR technology, not just in gaming, for instance, but also in other areas? And then how widespread, you know, are these technology being applied to different scenarios in China? Where are we? Do we have an idea? Because everybody is trying to do this. Hey, is China ahead? Is the United States?
I think our advantage is that you know, it's usually sometimes the U.S. or European countries that you know gives the prototype, but you know Chinese companies are really good at making it enters the household or enters our daily experiences. You know, talking about robots,
good point. Very good point.
VR headset. You know, it's usually not Chinese who's take the idea or invented in the first place, but judging from my experience, this VR headset I really want to take my friends and family to it, and it's actually can be a part of our daily life, our daily experience.
So I think this is a really important point that you made, because I think even if we look at the historical times, right, Chinese technology or Chinese engineering always seems to be developed to make it more, to bring it closer to humans, right? To humanize or to rehumanize technologies, right? To make it part of everyday life, to make it part of culture, right? Like you have this robot riding a Chinese character, or these kind of things, or firecrackers, right? They were invented by Chinese people, right? And so there is this application in a meaningful, humane way, right?
Would that not be the case in Europe, for instance, in Germany? Would they not be using that for?
German, it's different histories of technology, and maybe the Germans, they have another tradition deriving from hundreds of years ago, and maybe it's more practical, more engineering, but this is also part of Chinese civilization for thousands of years. So it's there are similarities but also differences. But here, I think the way Chinese culture is presented in that context is very interesting. China is not just dragon dance, right? China is also robotics, but robotics are part of this. They're not separated from that, from these traditions. So we try to put it this way. We try to develop it in a holistic way, in more integrated way. There's a great wisdom in that if it's
Almost
applied
like
in the right
high-speed
way.
railway, or La
Yeah.
Boo, or
Yeah.
these robotics actually has become part of the national
Right,
identity
right,
in some
right,
sense.
right.
Yeah.
And it's so advanced. I mean, also Chinese hotels, right? Everywhere you have these AI-powered robots and
Delivering
You
stuff.
see
People are
foreign
fascinated.
KOLs making videos of
Oh my
these
God, they were so
robots.
amazed by it.
exactly.
I guess
right.
we feel like it's
and
so
every day.
amazed, right?
And once I made a video and I sent it to a Chinese friend, zero reply.
They would be like, why are you surprised by this? Why are you amazed by this? And I think that's one thing that we don't really realize as just, normal Chinese citizens living in this country. When it comes to the application of new technology and taking QR payment as an example, I remember I was still going to school in the US at the time. And I was coming back home every year. It was 2014, I think. I came back and there was no cash anymore. Every single vendor, every single cab driver, every single
Are we
restaurant.
adapting a bit too fast, though?
I think China is very fast when it comes to implementing a new technology. That's why the robots in the hotels are not like such a phenomenon for a lot of Chinese people, because you see them everywhere and you kind of just get used to it. You're like, oh, this is something new. I think it's going to be a similar case with the humanoids as well. One day, maybe in the next couple of years. I don't want something that looks like a human in my house. But
You know why I'm laughing? You know why I'm giggling?
Yeah.
Because just earlier, before we did the show, I was in Longfusi. I was
Yeah.
at a fair, and there was a humanoid robot there. Guess what the
Really?
robot
Oh, I
was
see.
doing? It was hired by a foods company to maybe attract customers, to do some promotion. But all it was doing was to put a sticker, like a price tag, onto a pack of breads and then give it to the customer. That was the only thing it was programmed to do, and it was repeating this. I said, come on, say something, sing a
do
song.
something else.
Sing a song, say
Yeah.
a New Year greeting, or do something else. No, it's not programmed. It's simply there to do this, and it doesn't forget to press the tag a little bit so that it sticks, and then it gives it. It's sweet,
A
but
little human touch.
a little robot touch. But that repetition, that monotonous move is very symbolic to me. This humanoid robot in the middle of a Spring Festival temple fair, doing not much, just that, and people watching. Some would come, some would go, and after a while they get used to it, and this robot is just practicing. What does that tell us about us Chinese, about where we are? Again, I'm trying to understand the times we're in and the implications for everybody. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're living in a very interesting and exciting time where these innovations are iterating really really fast, and what used to be the cutting edge technology may become commonplace in the future, and that's all the almost like a industrial revolution, but
It is
Yes,
very much
on
so.
steroids.
yeah, on steroids. But we're going to see more and more of these, new innovations, going on. Right now, for example, these robots, some of the smaller version is already on the desktop of, small kids, helping them with language, helping them with
Homework,
homework. Also
my
having
God.
these conversations.
I'm not looking forward to
Of course, there are suspicions
Yeah,
or doubts about,
But this is really, really important to think about, right? Because also AI, I remember a conference about AI learning in 2017, where someone said, yeah, now the children, we will have AI and there will be more knowledge will be available, so they have to learn more and faster, right? And I think that's maybe not the right way to approach this.
You cannot compete with the
No,
AI.
you cannot compete with you cannot try to outrun a Ferrari, right? So it doesn't make sense, or race car. So we have to ask ourselves how can we create a meaningful life for ourselves in this future, right? So where we don't have to actually work, many jobs will be gone, but there will be new ones, right? There will be new ones, and there will be new opportunities, completely new professions, I assume, and maybe there will be even more opportunity due to robots helping us with other things, but we have to find a way to loot out, so to speak, or to really realize what is possible and what we can do. And actually it changes the complete social fabric of work relations, for example, right? If the machines do everything by themselves, you don't need a worker anymore. So the mind of a particular person that might have worked in a factory before is free to do something else. They can create that.
Hopefully. Do you think, Alex, but do you think that's going to be the case? Before a lot of people are free and to have the time to do creative work, we're going to probably have mass unemployment.
I hope that's why when you said the robot was there doing sort of a mundane, repetitive work, but it's doing it with some sort of care, like see if it's actually on the. I hope that's where robotic development is going for people, because I know there's so many different researches and new products in AI, and especially for someone like me who works in content production. One of my old podcasts actually was stopped because they were able to just replace the whole workflow with AI, and they were able to use the voice.
There's so much AI-generated content on social media right now.
And it's really hard for people to tell them apart from real content. And I do worry about that a lot. And I hope that the development could go into a direction where it actually helps people to not having to labor so much, but still be able to have the space and the will to create. And I personally don't want to see any more, image generating or video generating. Do we really need more videos where there's like two cats singing Merry Christmas to you? I don't know, but it's going towards a direction that's going to be disruptive to people who work in the overall content production industry, and it is causing some sort of a worry or even a panic for a lot of people that are living on being part of the creation workflow. So I think that's something that we do have to think about, but if it could liberate people from doing work that's just costing a lot of time and not being very productive, like posting the tag, yes, I think that's great.
At this moment, I'm just noticing more AI applications coming out, more AI-generated videos on content on social media, Chinese social media. You really cannot tell. The quality of information overall is just, going down and down. And sometimes I'm like, why is our world being filled with this kind of content? And how do we, as content creator, compete with, they can click a button and they can produce something which possibly go viral, and we work very, very hard.
Yeah.
But I'm more optimistic than you guys. I think, just as, what David used to say, I think the first and second industrial revolution makes muscle no longer a scarce, resource, because people can't.
We don't need horses.
Yeah, we don't. Well,
they're here.
You can't outrun a Ferrari. You can't outrun
a horse.
A horse either, but you make them companion. You make them your good friend. So you ride on horseback and you go to somewhere you want to. And this time is very similar. So our intelligence, the thing that we cherish the most for the past 100 or 200 years or for the entire human history, is probably no longer going to be a scarce resource. Then what we are going to do, what's scarce about our human being, that's going to be valuable in the future. So I think one thing is good taste. That we have good taste in music, we have good taste. For example, Alex must know this. AI doesn't write good jokes. It doesn't.
AI doesn't. Oh my God! There are so many people. So people have been, "Why are you using AI to write your jokes?" I was like, I've tried. I can't. And I've tried with. I've tried with every.
I never thought about that. Interestingly, we do AI for research, sometimes facts, and they're pretty good. Sometimes.
When it comes to number, there's still a couple months. There's a lag. Okay. It's not the most updated number. With jokes, it just hasn't worked.
What kind of jokes does it write, for instance?
It writes like the textbook answer of jokes. Yeah. But those jokes are not funny.
It's almost like your parents walks in, you're hanging out with friends, and the parents try to say something funny.
It's very okay. AI is extremely good at dad jokes.
That's my kind of joke.
It's too predictable, and when it becomes too predictable, like the unexpected jokes are the best ones. That if you twist people's expectations, you say something, they think you were going to say A, and you say hello.
Yeah. And like that's this horse.
No, exactly. I think that's what joy comes from for people. In a way, we actually, in the comedy context, people like to be proved wrong, and that's funny. And AI is just like, no, we're searching for successful jokes, and that makes it unsuccessful.
I also think the young generation now, they're also dealing with this whole internet information stream in a different way. And old people maybe watch TikTok for entertainment or because otherwise it's boring. But I think the young, the teenagers now, they really use this medium to educate themselves. For example, they're interested maybe in certain technology like camera, taking photos. You have all the information in there, and it can be processed much faster than by reading an introductory book or something on a particular topic. So I think this is also something where I would say it's one can be optimistic.
It can be an opportunity.
Yeah, because it's very creative and very precise, and depends the user, right? It depends the person. Does the person have enough time to do that? Are they at ease? Are they happy? Do they have the means? And I think, ideally speaking, it should go in this direction. So
what I do, I find I use AI increasingly. You know, I used to be like, but now I have several AI applications on my phone, and I'll use them for different purposes. For instance, if my arm hurts, of course I go to a doctor.
That's a better idea. That's a better idea.
But I also ask the more medically minded AI program, what are the potential possibilities? You know, I'm not going to just take it as the right answer, but it informs me.
Like a second opinion.
Like a second opinion, I will still go to a doctor because the doctor is just one kind of opinion, right?
Yeah.
And then for some general knowledge, instead of going on Baidu or Google, I ask AI, because it can give me not just one answer, but it really can give me multi-dimensional, the history of it, where it come from, the different sources, and so on and so forth. It's just a very instant, very fast, very helpful, but I also always take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? I have to double check. I don't want to take it, but it gives me an opinion. So anyway, I think you have put it very clear, have the ability to judge, use it as a tool, and
develop it, right? Also in terms of education, I think it's important that kids learn to pose the right questions. Maybe it's not.
But the thing is, I'm going to ask Li Lun here, because Li Lun, you're an educator. I mean, we have come to this age where, through experience and learning, we have the ability to judge what is right, what is wrong with AI. Yeah. But the kids, how are they going to do that? Is it possible at all for them? I know. To manage.
So for my class, I do allow students to use AI, but only to help them with, for example, reading.
Research.
Yes, for example, reading a English paper, a paper that's written in different language. So that was, for some kids that wasn't, something that's available or possible to them. But right now they can read it or summarize it without, translating them, without going to Google Translate word by word. So I think it definitely widens their ability to see the outside world, but I do think you need to set limits. For example, I do ask them to write essays as part of their final grade, but I do not accept essays that are comprehensively or completely written by AIs. So I'll ask them to attach, for example, a page of how you use the AI, what in what way does it assist you, and what's your feeling or thoughts about it. So I think in this age,
to become part of the bibliography.
Yeah. So you have to attach the whole conversation. What you asked the AI, what was the response, and so on and so forth. So I think in this age, you have to use AI responsibly. It's almost like to become a driver of Ferrari, you have to have a driver's license. Right now, you have to teach them how to.
But in the future, you don't need the driver anymore. You don't need a license.
That's what I'm waiting for. I don't have a license yet. I'm waiting for the driver's car to come
Yes, exactly.
It's already there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that metaphor is not going to age well. But right now, I think to help them, to educate them to work with the tool, because you can't imagine living in a world without AI. I think you can't go back.
So to wrap up, this is a topic that's too big, but to wrap up, we tried. If AI cannot write jokes, they can write poems, famously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they can do anything, I suppose. closely. So we asked the DeepSeek to write an English poem, actually. So it's a poem about the celebration of the New
Okay.
Year.
Okay.
I'm going to read it out to you, and you tell me.
We're ready.
Okay.
We're ready.
You have to get ready.
Yeah.
A hoofbeat chases years away. A golden mane brings dawn's first ray. Run with the wind, leave cares behind. The horse of fortune, strong and kind.
Okay.
How do you like it?
Not
It
bad
rhymes.
at all.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
rhymes.
Good,
Nice, nice.
good rhyming, good imagery.
Yeah.
I like the part with the sunshine. It has all of these, using these words, it kind of creates an image of, what New Year's morning or what New Year's, celebration would look like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, peaceful and brings in the good fortune, which
Yeah.
is
I think it's very deep. A lot of things can be derived from it. Like, I just had this association again about philosophy, about Zhu Xi, right? There's a famous philosopher called Zhu Xi,
Please.
and he has this metaphor of a rider. So he compares the principle that organizes everything, the world principle, so to speak, the Li. He compares it to someone riding a horse. The horse is the qi, the matter energy of the universe, right? And the rider and the horse, they create reality together. And I think it's kind of it kind of had this association that actually we have the future in our hands, right? We should try to ride the horse of this new year, and to really not be passive about it, but to also really creatively and actively develop this technology in a humane way to create a better future for China and for the world.
Wow, what a philosophical way to
Yeah,
end the
it's very
program.
philosophical.
Since there are 4 of us, why don't we each have a horse? Now
Oh
you have
yes,
the red
thank
one,
you.
please.
Yeah.
If you want.
of course.
It's so
Why not?
cute.
I'll take
It's
the
really
white
cute.
So,
My goodness.
so my takeaway from this conversation is, look, the leash is in our hands.
It's in our
Right.
hands.
Oh, that's
We have the
that's
rain.
good. That's well put.
That's
well
my
put.
takeaway.
This is
David?
my
Yeah, same. I can just
I got it from
underline-
you just now.
Underline, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for this great show, for the talk, and I think it's really meaningful.
Thank you for all the words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Alex?
You know what's interesting? This horse is just like what we're talking about. It's AI. If we train it well, it'll take us to places we want to go.
Right.
Be my buddy. Be my little buddy.
What about jokes? Will you train it to write jokes?
And it'll become magnificent.
Oh my
Sorry,
God,
that is so bad. Sorry,
It's a good one. That was a good one.
me and my comedy partner came up with that joke, and the client didn't want it. We're like, we need to make this happen. Everybody have a magnificent year.
That was a good one. Did you just come up like that?
No, we had this
You
before.
had this
but
before. Oh, it
No
was-
one has heard it, and we came up with it. We're very proud of this joke.
Oh, we're very lucky.
When I hear that joke, I'm smiling like that, but inside I'm crying.
No, that's me. I'm crying right now for me to write that joke.
Let's leave
That's a
it
good
now.
one. That's a
Let's
good
leave
one.
it now. Okay. So that was your sentence?
Yeah.
That was your
yeah.
wrap-up
Oh my
sentence?
God, I'm going
That's
to
a bad
wrap up. No, I think that's
Back
well
to
put.
emotion, right? Back
Yeah,
to feeling.
back to feelings. So I think, I'm very optimistic for the year of the horse, because even though we're going to see more, technology changes, I do think, we are still in control. We are the ones that's going to be in charge. Yeah, with the leash in hand.
With
Yeah.
the leash.
Okay.
To the left. To the right.
Okay.
Yeah, and the horse is our friend, right? And the
Yeah.
horse is also
A friend,
very
not a foe.
Absolutely.
emotional, and it's actually unity, right?
Yeah.
It's,
Absolutely,
it's not,
absolutely. I do just want to finally say we need to thank this space. It's called All Space, where we played the AR game, where we recorded this show. I do need to say a big thank you to All Space for providing us with the venue. Thank you for watching this very special edition of The Point with me. David, Bartosch, Alex Shi, and Li Lun. It's been a wonderfully interesting conversation. Thank you so much, and have a happy year of the horse.
Thank
Happy
you.
Year of the
Thanks so
Horse.
much. Happy year of the
And
horse.
we spur
Yes.
forward.
Thank you.
We do.
Yay.